You're listening to Mr. Credit on San Diego 1700 with local credit expert Derek Evans. Now, live in studio, Mr. Credit.
Welcome to Mr. Credit. We are live. We are local here in San Diego, bringing you unquestionably the most important hour in radio because we're telling you everything that they don't want you to know. We added another one to the they list this week. We got Wall Street gangsters, big government cronies, the big banks, the credit bureaus, the media, the debt settlement companies, and now pharmaceutical companies and certain portions of the healthcare industry. Is that a big surprise with Obamacare and all this stuff? Well, I think you'll be shocked at some of the things I have to bring to you today. Go to make sure you visit MrCreditRadio.com if you want to send me an email or give me a call or do a Facebook search for Mr. Credit, and you will find me there. You know, I only say that once a show, and every single day, 2 or 3 people add me as a friend during the show, and I appreciate that. More friends, the merrier. Okay. Now, I have to say something about the Padres. What do you say when a team has lost 7 games in a row? That's too many. That's all I know. I mean,
Pac-Man today.
Pac-Man? You want Pac-Man? Okay, I'll give you Pac-Man next time. Okay. So we still have a 3-game lead over San Francisco. That's the good news for first place. We're still in first place. We're still 20 games over 500. Let's pretend we haven't lost 7 in a row. Let's say we split our last 10 games. We're still in a good position. It blows my mind that we can't beat Arizona. I mean, they stink. We've beat them plenty this year, but, I mean, come on. So we've got Colorado tomorrow at 7 o'clock. No game today. Colorado tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and that's going to be downtown at Petco Park. Remember, you can catch all the Padres games right here on San Diego 1700. Highly recommend you save this station in your dial. I think we're going to come out. I think we're finally due. We come out guns blazing, and I think we'll take Colorado in a hefty win, and everyone can breathe a sigh of relief. We really just need to play 50-50 ball right here to make it to the playoffs, and that's really all that matters at this point. Let's catch fire once the playoffs start, and we'll worry about it from there. But please, pretty please, with a cherry on top, win a freaking game. Thank you very much. Okay, so today we're going to cover a bunch of stuff. Your socks are going to get knocked off. We're going to talk about what's really important to you. I'm going to tell you about a great movie that I saw recently. We're going to start our dive into natural cures. Do you think this is a good fit for the show or what? Kevin Trudeau's book from 2004, which I read about 5 years ago, and I'm diving back into natural cures they don't want you to know about. Think that's a good fit for the show? I sure do. We're going to dive into that. Your local dollar store, visit it recently. I'm going to tell you something really important there. How about the richest members of Congress? This will knock your socks off. Now, we all know that those guys are rich, but I'm going to give you, I'm not going to go through all 50, but the top 50 richest members in Congress, who are they? You'll be shocked. Also, real quick, in case you missed yesterday's show, we had William McDonald, the best bankruptcy attorney in Southern California, on the show as we try to do every single week for you so we can bring you true information about what's really going on in the world of law and especially the world of debt relief as we see all of these debt settlement companies advertising this stuff every single day. Get out of debt. If you have $10,000 or more in debt, call us. Obama's giving us money to pay off your credit card debt. Just a whole bunch of BS. And the truth is, the best debt relief strategy that really exists is Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and there's just no doubt about it. You can't argue it. There's nothing that's that quick, 100 days or less. There's nothing that will actually cause your score to go higher in almost every single case. There's nothing that's so inexpensive. We're talking like $2,500 total, attorney's fees, court costs, everything, you name it, to discharge and get rid of, eliminate, delete all of your credit card debt, all of your unsecured debts such as collections, medical bills, anything that might have to do with a wage garnishment, a judgment as long as it wasn't a result of fraud, even some IRS tax debt, bad auto leases. List goes on and on. You can also eliminate your liability from second mortgages, home equity lines of credit on properties that are going to be foreclosed, short sold, etc. It's an unbelievable situation. Highly recommend that you call William McDonald if you have any of those situations. Schedule your free consultation, 858-437-0103. 858-437-0103. to schedule your free consultation with my good friend and the best bankruptcy attorney in San Diego and Southern California for that matter, William McDonald, 858-437-0103. Now, we talked about the debt machine yesterday when he was in here, which is a new publication from the National Consumer Law Center about how the collection industry hounds consumers and overwhelms courts. And what we found when we dove into that, and this is a consumer advocacy group, that's why we like them so much in the show, and what we found was that the biggest collection agent, NCO, in the country is owned by Chase Bank. That's right. Chase Bank.
Really?
I'm telling you. Chase Bank owns the #1 collection agent in the country. These are those people who blow up your phone if you owe $200 or $150 or even $30 or $40 or sometimes even $5 on these collections just to try to get you to pay. Yeah, those guys. Those guys are the ones who are actually employed by and creating profits for Chase Bank. That doesn't make you think twice. It does me. So I thought that was a really good point that we made yesterday. So the first thing I want to start off with today is finding out what's really important to each one of us. And you know, I like to get into these real life examples because the truth is, how often do you think about that? I want to know, when was the last time you thought about what was really important to you, and did you put it in the right context? Because we have so many things that trigger our sensories. So many foods, so many lights, so many movies, TVs, computers, Blackberries. We have all these things that are triggering our senses all the time that we don't really get an opportunity to dive in and look at ourselves from a natural standpoint and say what's really important to us. So picture this. Pretend you are, let's say, climbing a cliff and you're holding on for dear life. You get into a bad situation, your rope breaks. There's no one else around, it's just you. You're holding on and you're okay, but you know you're not going to be able to hold on forever. You know you've got 4 or 5 minutes maybe. What's going through your mind right then? What do you care about at that point? You certainly don't care about an email. You certainly don't care about what kind of car you drive. What goes through your mind at that moment? Those are the things that you really care about. Those are the things that you have to put more of your time toward. I mean, I can instantly, I'm an empathetic person, so I put myself in that position. I'm hanging on the cliff. I've got a few minutes left. I know I'm not going to be able to hold on forever, and I've got a 1,000-foot drop ahead of me. And the things that go through my mind are my friends, my family, my parents, my siblings, my daughter, you know, the things that really matter to you. It's people. It's relationships. And I think we spend way less time on relationships and way too much time watching TV. Hello. And doing things on computers. Can you get away from it? Probably not. Not completely. But at least you can have that thought. Because the truth is, every single one of us is on a shot clock. Our time on this earth is limited. And every single day that time ticks down. And if you don't think about it that way and you're not making the most of it, then I think you're making a mistake. And I don't want you to kick yourself down the road when it's too late. This is the same principle that we use. That was interesting. This is the same principle that we use. It's okay. Mistakes happen. Hey, I thought you were. I was kind of doing a doom and gloom, so I thought you were giving me like a little feeler there. That's okay. The same principles exist within your credit. You realize that? We constantly don't think about it until we need it, or until it's too late, or until, gosh, I wish we would have done that, years ago, months ago, years ago, in some cases. It's the same thing when you have, an uncle pass, or a great uncle, or even a great grandma or a grandma. You look back and you go, gosh, the past 3 years, I could have drove and I could have seen that person any point in time. Or I could have picked up the phone and could have called them, and I can't do that anymore. And so it's the relationships. Those are the things that are invaluable. Those are the things money can't buy. Unless that is, of course, you work in Washington, and I'm going to go through later and tell you exactly how much money those folks are making. But in the end, your relationships are too important, and too many relationships are broken down and stripped away because of money, because of finances. Because we're in bad economic times, and sometimes it's difficult for people to properly communicate to one another why things aren't balancing out, why things aren't the way they used to be. I know a lot of guys out there come to me hat in hand for no reason.